Because nothing in here about wind direction.
What about common errors and completion
Failure to
standards?
clear the air, failure to utilize the road around with the repair, failure to have airplane properly trimmed prior, lift or resulting in drag, holding the airplane on the ground, blah, blah, blah. With forward inadequate rotation.
Trying to figure out if you have a practical test standards for the
Yes.
private? This is instructor.
Instructor, yeah.
Have the private PTS or sports pilot PTS no? Okay. We'll mention, definitely mention wind, okay?
Yeah, with the wind correction.
Absolutely. Applies wind correction as necessary, to maintain a precise ground track. If it's still recording, you're going to have all the critique on the tape, too. So.
Not mine, yours is recording.
Yeah, we transfer it over. We transfer it. No,
Bluetooth or whatever?
Yeah, we can Bluetooth it over. Don't worry about it. If it's still recording, don't worry.
Oh, we're still recording. The reason why I like to record it first time with an instructor applicant is because you have time to sit in your home, relax, and review and watch everything. So you don't really have to take notes. Just listen to all the pointers of you. Okay. So wind is very important. It's in the PTS. It's in the maneuver. I would definitely put a windsock.
Yes.
Why are we taking off to Atlantic City here? Or, put a windsock where the wind, how it's... Another very important thing that was missed. Coordination. Did you talk about coordinated flight control?
With the
Right, rudder. And emphasize on the short field takeoff, we're going to have to add a lot of right rudder. How much? As much as necessary to maintain coordinated flight, which is inclinometer both centered between the lines. Okay?
It's been white. The reason why you need a lot more right order on the BS climb instead of the BY climb is because your speed is slower. It's slower, and you do more key practice, so you need more right order.
Okay. So mention that high pitch, slow flight. Okay, high angle of attack, max power, a lot of right rudder to maintain coordinated flight. Okay. You see, all these things I'm mentioning now, if you would have taken a 1-minute overview, talk about the maneuver for 10 to 12 minutes, we'll cover everything we're talking about right now on the maneuver. Towards the end, give yourself 1 minute for common errors, 1 minute for completion standards, 1 minute to wrap it up. The whole presentation would have been much more, organized. Okay. Rotation speed. You mentioned 55. Do you have your POH? Okay. You can pull the POH for the Piper. The POH for the Piper has rotation speed, liftoff, and barrier speed. Have you seen that? What is
barrier speed? I was looking for it.
Yeah. David, do me a favor, find the POH for the Piper and show him on the short field takeoff performance chart what it says about rotation, liftoff speed, and barrier speed. I'm going to use the rest of the
Piper, what? Piper?
Arrow.
Anything, Arrow, Cherokee.
28.
Keep it simple. Do Cherokee because it's easier for the student to
Yeah,
understand.
Cherokee.
lots of it there, essentially. Airport.
Greasy out there. Boom.
Where's it supposed
It'd be like a performance chart where it's giving you barrier speed. No, just short field takeoff. Normal procedure, keep going. Okay, look. Or takeoff, normal, keep coming down, one click, one more click. Keep going.
No.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Okay, there you go. Performance. Performance graph, 5.7. $25 degree takeoff. Keep going. Keep going. There you go. Can you flip it? So you can read. Okay. Liftoff speed, 57. Speed is 50 foot, which is barrier speed, 60. Okay? And rotation, I believe, is 55. So 55 rotate, 57 actually lift off, and then 60 is for the barrier speed, which is 50 foot up. So
that would be the X, right?
no, this is barrier speed, and it's dependent on the weight. If you're light, it's going to be slower than 60.
Okay.
Yep.
If you're heavy, it's going to be heavier. So you gotta Have you ever looked at that short field takeoff chart?
Yeah, I looked at it. I never know about the grade.
You never know about the 50 foot obstacle speed. Okay. Always refer to the pilot's operating system.
Yeah.
This is the manufacturer. This could be Piper. The Cessna can be completely different.
Matter of fact, all certified aircrafts, that's part of the checklist that they have to do in order to get the aircraft certified.
Yeah.
So they have to write POH based upon the specific make and model of the aircraft to get the aircraft certified. So you can't just put a truck figure on a Piper Cherokee and do the same POH.
Yeah.
You need different
Gotcha.
Use of checklist
you mentioned checklists.
on the maneuver itself, or on the completions on the common errors.
You mentioned.
At the beginning, after run-up, you do the before takeoff checklist.
You mentioned checklist.
Yeah. Before takeoff, and then after I was like, and after what I forgot to mention was on the watch the reach cruise. You're going to do watch the reach 1,000 feet, not glide off.
Yeah, after takeoff
After
checklist.
checklist.
Yeah, after takeoff checklist. Yeah. I don't know. I only heard the checklist on the common errors. I don't know if he, but maybe he did mention the before takeoff, before taxi, and all that stuff. Okay. Pitch for VX63. What is the barrier speed?
60.
60.
So 60 would be.
Yeah. Now this chart is for max gross weight. It can be, when you're looking at the graph, it can be a little different. If you're lighter, maybe. So pitch for VX63 is VX63 at max gross weight, but the barrier speed can be 60 to clear the 50-foot obstacle. So it kind of depends. It's not necessarily.
Okay.
But we're talking 3 knots. It's not. Do we always pitch for 63?
It depends on the weight.
No.
On the temperature.
Do we always pitch
Let's
for
see what you're-
63 knots?
On a
Not some
short-
on a short field.
On a short field takeoff, do we always pitch for 63 knots?
Until we clear the 50-foot obstacle.
This is your strip,
Uh-huh.
500 foot, and you
you're
got
right.
water.
No, then you go to V1, things just go to V1. Yeah,
Lift off,
it's
you're
just to
done.
because you have to get off the runway. That's what you have to do.
As soon as you lift off, it's done. The maneuver is over. You got water.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't have to clear obstacles. So it could be either way. It doesn't have to be.
and you can, and then when I forgot else to say, once you clear the 50-foot obstacle, you can lower your nose so you can cool the engine.
Okay, so not necessarily 63.
Yeah, because
Max
you
takeoff available.
get up to the-
Hold your brakes. 25-degree flaps. Full throttle. Static RPM meant you got the power you need for takeoff. You look at that static. If it's too low, the engine is not in max performance. You may end up on the water.
Actually, that's what I mentioned.
Rotate and lift off. When did you?
I mentioned if I was flying a complex aircraft, prop.
Uh-huh.
Because I know if you put the prop fully forward, you can do the full horsepower without constant speed.
Yeah.
So it's not really static without constant speed. That's what I mentioned.
For the examiner, what I recommend for the inspector, don't go arrow unless he wants you to.
Arrow, okay.
Because if you go arrow, the kiss is down the garbage. It's not simple anymore. You just took a student that doesn't know anything about, short field takeoff and explaining to him, now you're constant speed prop, retract, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, because in the beginning you mentioned it was a Piper 28201R.
Uh-huh.
So I said, okay, so retractable landing gear.
It's definitely.
That's why I asked, is it a complex aircraft? Do you need to do, because it said this advanced port, pull, step on the brakes and release.
Correct.
Because I remember there's a prop, what
But I mentioned also pre takeoff check.
Pre-takeoff check.
Meaning
Yeah.
that the props will be full before the check.
That's fine. You can do that on your check ride, okay? I don't recommend it.
Okay.
If the inspector says, teach me a short field takeoff on a 737,
Completely different thing.
Wow, abbreviated checklist.
I'll just tell the guy, listen, I'm not typed in that airplane. I can't teach.
Exactly.
Shut him down. But, I don't think he's going to tell you to do this on the Arrow. He's going to, want you to keep it simple on the
Okay.
regular Piper.
So I will ask him what airplane you want. No, I want to ask
No,
him.
don't ask. Just keep it simple. Pop the POH for a Piper Cherokee and just do it
I
first.
said this is the performance graph.
Yeah, simple.
Okay.
Okay, remember.
I did it on the Microsoft Flight Simulator, the Boeing 737 check ride. It was a lot of information.
Of course.
The guy's like, this, that. Okay, set brakes, the RTO, do this, do that,
Yeah.
pitch for this, put the flaps down because you
Mhm.
need maintain below 200,000 after 1,000, retract the flaps,
Yep.
then pitch for 250. It's like,
Too much. Okay. Always 50-foot obstacle or not? We talked about that.
Yeah, we talk about the water and
A short field takeoff is not always with an obstacle. You want to mention both.
okay.
Okay? Flaps are lifting device. That's what you mentioned. Flaps are lifting device. What about drag?